Inventory with passenger car dealers has also risen by 16% month on month. Auto majors like Maruti, Mahindra, Kia have all seen a number of unsold cars rise in the month of August. This has led to both companies and dealers offering high discounts on low-selling variants of the vehicles. Joining us right now to speak about this is Arun Malhotra, former managing director of Nissan, and automotive expert Vinod Agarwal, president of the Society of Indian Automobile Manufacturers. Mr. Agarwal, the Society of Indian Automobile Manufacturers said today that they were hopeful that the monsoons and budget announcements will translate into good buying sentiment on the ground. But why are we seeing a high inventory level in the market? And dealers, they have for long been talking about inventory pile-up. We're looking at a 70,000 crore worth of unsold inventory in the dealer network. Why do you think this situation has started?
I think this is a short-term phenomena. It's very difficult to mention that why this has happened, because I'm sure in their prudence, all the manufacturers have done it with some sort of a clear prudence, and I'm sure they are also responsible for taking care of dealers' health. So therefore, as I would not like to comment on this, but at the same time, this is a matter which dealers and the OEMs have to address individually, case-to-case basis. And there are talks of high inventory,
right?
But of course, this is, I think, will be a short-term phenomena, and the festive season should take care of this.
Right. But do you also feel that on the ground, in both rural and urban areas, the sentiment is not strong? Or do you believe that the retail sales continue on a growth trajectory on a month-on-month basis and also on a year-on-year basis?
I think overall, I would say, if you look at Q1 numbers, in passenger cars, we have seen wholesale growth of 3% as compared to the previous year Q1. Now, previous year also, the sales were very strong. So that was on a high base. And July, we have seen some degrowth of 2.5% in passenger cars. So therefore, it means some correction has already started happening. And I'm sure in the month of September, or the festive season that is coming around, we should see good correction as far as the inventory levels are concerned. But overall, fundamentally, I think there is nothing which is concerning as far as the industry is concerned, because the fundamental factors are all positive. Our economy is positive, and I'm sure we are going to have a good festive season. Monsoons are good. Rural economy is picking up. So therefore, I see from September onwards, we should see good traction coming back.
All right. Let me go across to Mr. Malhotra. Mr. Malhotra, discounts are always a factor of demand and supply. Right now, you have an oversupply, and we've been told by many automotive dealers that barring select cars and models and variants, almost all other cars are available in the market, and the wait list is not long at all. That's why we're looking at some very high discounts being offered by Maruti, by Hyundai, by MG Motor, by Mahindra and Mahindra, by Tata Motors as well. Why do you think we are in such a situation? And do you think this kind of high discounting will now continue for a couple of months?
So, the reason is when in the beginning of the year, there was some assessment done of the passenger four-wheeler market. What came out and the growth expectation was between 4 to 5%. And this is not because that the economy is down or the sentiments are not positive. In the last 2 years, the growth has been phenomenal. 4.25 million has been the sale last year. And every company wants to grow between 10 to 15%. Now, if every company wants to go between 10 to 18% and the demand, or you can say is going to grow by only 4 to 5%, there will be a mismatch. So either companies have to reduce their aspirations. So that is one of the reasons why the unevenness is there. And then there's always a challenge of market share. SIAM releases figure, who blinks first? So clearly stocks are going up, and as you rightly mentioned, Parikshit, the number of models which there is waiting, and that even I would say is hardly re-waiting, is very, very limited. To that extent, stocks have gone up. Now the challenge is the festival season is around the corner. We have the Ganesh Chaturthi in Maharashtra and Onam in Kerala, which don't represent the entire country, but the big festival starts from first week of October. So stocks are built up. I don't think the stocks will go down below 2 months. So two things can happen. Sentiments, I agree with Mr. Agarwal, are not negative. They are fairly okay. But the challenge will be, or I would say the opportunity is, since every model variant will be available this festival season, and I think the discounts and the schemes will be very high, to that extent, there will be increase in sales in the festival season versus last year. But the problem arises when the festival season ends in October. November, December, we're back to the same boat, and there'll be 2 months for the year. So it's a challenging situation. I think companies will have to rationalize their production. Otherwise, this is going to be a phenomenon, whether the stocks are at the factory or at the dealership or in transit. So that's the thing. But the customer wins in this because all models are available. He probably gets the best schemes also.
Right. So this is a situation where it is a buyer's market, not a seller's market, because you have a oversupply right now. Let me go back to Mr. Agarwal. So, Mr. Agarwal, do you believe that this inventory correction, we've already seen the wholesale dispatches coming down by 2.5% in the month of July. Do you think this will further continue and we are going to see this in September and October as well? Wholesale dispatches coming down further?
I think let's wait and watch. We have to see how the festive season goes. So I'm still optimistic that there will be good demand in the festive season, because I'm expecting that FMCG and all the consumer durables, we should see good demand coming back, and then that should push up the industry. So overall, fundamentally, economy is growing. We should not forget that.
All right. Now, let me also speak to you about the commercial vehicle segment, Mr. Agarwal. How do you think the CV segment and also electric vehicles within the commercial vehicle segment are performing right now after the budget announcements, the push for infrastructure, rural growth? Do you see some green shoots for growth in the commercial vehicle segment?
Commercial vehicle segment also, YTD July, there has been marginal drop in all the segments. If you look at heavy duties, drop is 2.5%. If you look at light and medium duty, drop is 1.5%, or the small commercial vehicles also, there is a little bit drop. So therefore, YTD July, there is little bit drop. However, I think we should also see that first 4 months, first 2 months were the elections. And then, of course, now currently it is the monsoon. And during monsoon period, the commercial vehicles are normally down. Like specifically in heavy duties, tippers are down significantly, or multi-axles are down significantly. But the other haulage trucks have grown up. So therefore, we are expecting that after the monsoons are over, from September onwards, next month onwards, there will be some buying because of the depreciation, then also buying because of the festive, and there will be. We are expecting that the government will start releasing more projects. Like for example, if the allocation for the capex is 11.11 lakh crores in the fiscal budget, I think that will start showing up in the execution. So therefore, we are expecting good traction coming back from September onwards.
Right. Let me go back to Mr. Malhotra at this point. Mr. Malhotra, if we speak about the market and new launches, even though there is an oversupply right now in the market, that's not stopping car makers and two-wheeler manufacturers. If you look at two-wheelers only, Ola is all set to unveil an electric motorcycle tomorrow. Of course, it will be launched only later, after 6 to 8 months probably. When you speak about classic legends, they've launched a Java motorcycle, and now tomorrow they will be bringing out the BSA brand of motorcycles. Then you've got Mahindra and Mahindra, which is launching the 5-door Thar. That is going to be unveiled tomorrow morning. So how do you see these attempts to create excitement in a highly competitive and cutthroat market right now?
So what you're right is there are a lot of models lined up for launches. But one thing Parikshit, we have to keep in mind, how many of these models are mass-based models? And how many will come straight immediately? Because we are talking of stock sales of 3.5 lakhs. A classic legend or a Rox or something, they might get some response, and Ola also would take time. So in the short run, I don't think it solves a problem. It creates excitement, it creates a buzz, but I don't think it solves the issue of sales. Sales will actually depend on the festival season, which generally the people believe will be positive if I talk to dealers. So that's what is hinging on. The excitement will come from the new models, but I don't think it will substantially change the landscape as far as volumes are concerned in the next 2 months.
Right. My final question, Mr. Agarwal, what do you think will be the growth level at which you would complete FY25? Looking at the sentiment right now and a situation of oversupply, do you think the growth may not be as high as it was in FY24?
I would not.
I'm speaking about car sales and also about automobile sector overall.
I think overall still there will be growth in the current year, because we should not forget last year also was very, you can say, peak levels in the passenger car market. And two-wheelers, if you look at, in fact, this year, first 4 months also, there has been good growth. First quarter, two-wheelers had grown by 20%, and July also, there has been growth of 12.5%. And after a long time, we have seen growth in scooters. So therefore, that is also indicative of better rural economy. So as far as two-wheelers are concerned, I would feel that the growth will be there, maybe double digit or slightly higher than double digit. That is also based on still the two-wheeler market is lower than the earlier peak of 18-19. As far as the passenger cars are concerned, we will not see very strong growth, but we should have some growth. And commercial vehicles also we should have growth, because still the some of the segments are still lower than the earlier peak levels. And in commercial vehicles, especially the buses we are seeing a very strong growth. In buses, first 4 months also there has been growth of 28%. Exports out of the country also have started growing. First 4 months there has been growth of 15% in commercial vehicle exports. Therefore, I think overall for the year, based on the growth in buses and based on the growth in exports, and again the growth coming back in heavy duty trucks and the light and medium duty trucks as well as small commercial vehicles, we will see growth for overall full year. So therefore, I am optimistic that there will be growth.
All right. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Agarwal, for joining us, and Mr. Arun Malhotra for joining us as always. It's been an interesting discussion. Let's see how the festive season is for the automotive industry. But clearly a great time for buyers, as there are high discounts and less waiting times. We're taking a break here on News Center, but coming up on the other side, an army officer has died in an encounter with suspected militants in Jammu and Kashmir's Dora district. A special discussion when we return.